Today I want to show you how to make war water because it is my personal opinion that every witch or every occultist, every magical practitioner should have some sort of war water on hand at all times. It is excellent for defensive magic, excellent for offensive magic, and we're going to be talking about both in this video. So what is war water? Let's start with that first. It is a water that has been enhanced with certain ingredients, imbued with the energy of Mars, which is the god of war. There are a lot of Mars components in this water, and you can use this water in your spells for home protection or just protection in general. You can use this in offensive spells. So if you're going to get into baneful magic or offensive magic, doing return to senders, cutting cords, breaking hexes, whatever it is, you can use war water for pretty much anything. One of my favorite ways to use war water is to sprinkle it around the perimeter of my property, which protects my home from energies that I do not want in my space. So what I typically do is I cut off a couple sprigs of rosemary, which this is totally unnecessary and has nothing to do with war water. This is just what I personally like to do. Rosemary is a plant that is often associated with protection. It's just a great herb to use in protection spells. But I will take a couple sprigs of rosemary, I will dip it in my war water, and then I will use that sprig of rosemary to flick the water around the perimeter of my home. So that is one way that you can use war water in a protection spell, but you can also use it to anoint your candles with. You can take some water and gently anoint the outside of your candles before you do a spell for offensive or defensive magic, an intention that pertains to protection or going to war, becoming a warrior or a fighter, and just having that really strong oomph, that really aggressive Mars energy that may be needed for your spell. And I realize that not everyone is really interested in offensive magic, but I know that everyone does have some sort of investment in protection magic, so you could at least use your war water for that. I'm going to show you at my desk in a moment how I personally create war water. I want to share my personal recipe with you. There is one secret ingredient that I will be leaving out, so I'm not going to give the whole thing away, but I will show you how to make a really potent war water. Before we do that, let's talk about timing, because this is imperative. When you're making war water, it is also called Mars water by some people, because you really are bringing in the energy from Mars, the god of war. So you're going to want to make this war water on a Tuesday. Tuesday relates to Mars. And if you want to get fancy, you can even do it during the hour of Mars as well. The hour of Mars really varies depending on your location, because there's a calculation of where dawn and dusk is, and then you divide it up, and each division is related to a specific planet. I'm not going to go over all of that in this video. What I will do though is I will link a planetary hour calculator down in the description box. All you have to do is go into that description box, click on it, and then you can look to see what the hour of Mars is for you. Last time I checked, the hour of Mars for me was around 12:01, and it lasted a little bit after 1 p.m. So you want to make this war water on a Tuesday, and again, if you want to get fancy, you can do it during the hour of Mars. As far as ingredients go, let's talk about that before I take you over to my desk and show you how it's done. You're gonna want something iron, and you're gonna want something red. Iron and the color red are the two most important ingredients in this war water. There are so many different ways to make war water, and you can really get creative if you want to. You don't have to necessarily do exactly what I do in this video. So if you want to use different ingredients, that's totally fine. But I definitely recommend that whatever ingredients you use, something is with iron and something is the color red. So for this spell, I'm going to be using iron nails. Nails is a really popular ingredient in war water, so I definitely encourage you to get some iron nails. And for the something red, I'm going to be using cayenne pepper because it is really feisty and spicy. And I'm also going to be using red poppies. This is kind of my own secret sauce, because you might find that a lot of people, the way they make war water, they put some nails in some water and they do their blessing, etc. I'm actually going to show you my incantation that I say as well, so you'll have an incantation to say from this video. But I've never seen anyone else put poppies in their war water. That is simply a me thing. And the reason why I do that is because I have a deep relationship with the spirit of the poppy plant. And poppies really have this long-standing association with war. After World War I, there was this incredible phenomena where poppies started to grow and sprout up out of the ground on these battle sites. And some scientists say that it's because of the lime. The soils were enriched with lime after the rubble had settled from this war. And then through the dirt and through the mud, these poppy flowers grew. And then from there, people started to associate poppies with war in general. Some people will wear poppies as a way to remember, but for me, my association with poppies is that it is very much tied to war. Again, you do not have to include poppies if you don't want to. That's just something I personally do. You could stick with the iron nails and the cayenne if you wanted to. And I also have one other ingredient that I like to throw in. I have a rose bush out back in my in my side yard, but I like to take off some of the rose thorns, and I take off 13 rose thorns to make this war water. So I will be adding in the 13 rose thorns. I chose the number 13 for a very specific reason, but you don't have to add rose thorns, and you also don't have to do 13. So you can do whatever number corresponds in your mind to the intention that you're trying to bring about in this spell. And then again, I have one extra secret ingredient that I will not be sharing in this video, but that will give you a really, really good, strong war water. So let me flip you over to this desk and I will show you how it's done. So you're gonna wanna start by putting your nails in a jar and making sure that you fill it up just a little bit with water. And then what you end up doing is once you have the nails in there, so hopefully you can see this okay. There are definitely some iron nails in there. Leave it at least overnight, if not for 3 days. Within about a day, you'll see the rust start to form, and that rusty water is exactly what you want for war water. We like the rust. We definitely like that. So as far as the water that you end up putting in here, I just filled it up slightly so I could get these rusty, and then I have more water that I will be adding to this as we make it. But the water that you end up putting in here, it can just be plain water if you want. If you really want to get fancy, you can put in some dark moon water, which all that means for someone that's new is you set out some water under the dark moon and let it infuse all night long. You can also use water from a storm. So if you have heavy storms in your area, collect that rainwater and put it in your war water. We don't really get storms where I live. It's pretty, I don't know, pretty even, moderate weather. So I just use some dark moon water for mine. So basically what you're going to do here is you are going to center and ground your energy, which by the way, if you're a beginner and you're not familiar with how to center, ground, or direct your energy, that is something that you're going to need to know before creating something like that. So I have a video that discusses how to do that. I will link it in the description box as well if you want to check that out. It was something I filmed a long time ago though, so don't judge me too harshly for the editing skills, but you're going to want to start by centering and grounding as you normally would. You are going to add all of your ingredients into this war water, and then at the very end, you are going to direct your energy into the war water and chant. I will put the chant up on the screen, but I just kind of wanted to give you a little quick update of what's happening over here before I actually do it. So very simple, add in your ingredients, direct your energy into the war water as you are chanting the spell that I will put up on the screen. In shadows deep where passion burns, a brew of war it's time to churn. With iron will and fervent might, we summon Mars, the god of fight. In sacred vessel water flows to forge a force that truly shows the power of the warrior's art, a potion fierce from heart to heart. A pinch of iron, a dash of red, from battles past to battles spread. We mix them in this mystic potion to stoke the flames of war devotion. With whispered chants, we call his name, Mars, the god of honor's flame. Grant us strength, courage, and might to face our battles and win the fight. And there you have it. War water has been made. So anytime you want to use this war water, you want to shake it up really vigorously. Just like that. Because you don't want to have a weak wrist. You want to be aggressive. This isn't a potion that you swirl around willy-nilly and that you do a slow dance with it. No. You want to shake this up viciously like the warrior that you are. and then you're going to use your war water in whatever it is that you desire. You know, it's funny, I did not include my poppies in this war water recipe because for some reason I can't find my poppies anywhere, so I guess they just did not want to be included today. I hope that you enjoyed this personal recipe of mine. I hope you give it a try. Definitely let me know how it goes in the description box below, and I appreciate you watching.